The crowd was screaming. The lights were flashing. And for a split second, everything felt perfectly in control. Then it happened. Cardi B climbed onto a chair mid-performance, owning the stage like she always does. The beat to "Thoshiana" was pounding through the arena. Fans had their phones up. The energy was electric. And out of nowhere, the chair slipped. She fell straight backward. A collective gasp ripped through the crowd. For a heartbeat, it looked serious. No music. No laughter. Just shock. But before anyone could process it, she popped back up. No panic. No embarrassment. She pointed at the chair, grabbed the mic, and with perfect timing said, "That was the government." The arena exploded. What could have been a simple on-stage mishap instantly turned into something bigger. Because this wasn't just a fall. It was a punchline loaded with context. And within minutes, the clip was everywhere. But to understand why that joke hit so hard, you have to rewind 2 nights earlier. It all started in Palm Desert. At the opening stop of her Little Miss Drama tour, Cardi B wasn't just performing, she was talking. And when Cardi talks, people listen. Mid-show, she shifted gears and addressed immigration enforcement directly. Referring to ICE, she told the crowd that if agents showed up, they were ready. The energy in the room flipped instantly. Cheers. Shock. Phones shooting up to record every second. Within hours, the clip was everywhere. Some fans praised her for standing up for her audience. Others said she crossed a line. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. News outlets picked it up. Political pages reposted it. What started as a concert moment quickly became a national talking point. And then it escalated. Because instead of ignoring it, they responded. After the clip of Cardi's ICE comments started circulating, the Department of Homeland Security did something no one expected. They reposted media coverage of her remarks and added their own message. The tone? Not neutral. Not diplomatic. Sarcastic. In their post, they referenced her past behavior, implying that as long as she didn't drug and rob their agents, they'd consider it progress. It was a direct shot. A public dig. And it instantly escalated the situation from celebrity controversy to full-blown online showdown. Social media exploded. Fans couldn't believe a federal agency was trading jabs with a rapper. Critics said DHS was out of line. Others argued Cardi had invited the heat. Political commentators jumped in. Screenshots spread faster than the original concert clip. And suddenly, this wasn't just about a viral stage moment anymore. If they expected her to go quiet, they seriously underestimated her. Because Cardi didn't delete anything. She didn't soften her tone. She doubled down. After the Department of Homeland Security's sarcastic jabs started trending, Cardi B fired back publicly. And she didn't aim small. She shifted the conversation toward the renewed public scrutiny surrounding Jeffrey Epstein and the ongoing public debate over the so-called Epstein files. In her response, she questioned why officials were focused on her concert comments instead of addressing powerful figures allegedly tied to deeper scandals. The message was clear: if we're talking about wrongdoing, let's talk about everything. That's when the temperature online skyrocketed. Supporters praised her for calling out what they see as hypocrisy. Critics accused her of deflecting. Political commentators dissected every word. Rumors suggested this was no longer just a celebrity spat, it was becoming symbolic of a larger frustration people feel toward institutions. And Cardi? She looked completely unfazed. This is someone who has openly admitted to past mistakes. She's addressed her history before. But when challenged publicly, especially by authority, she doesn't shrink. She escalates. She reframes. She turns defense into offense. What made it explosive wasn't just the name she mentioned. It was the fact that she turned a sarcastic government clapback into a broader accusation about priorities and power. And by the time she stepped onto that chair in Las Vegas, all of that tension was still hanging in the air. Which makes her next joke feel a lot less accidental. And a lot more loaded. And just when you thought it couldn't get more chaotic, she added gasoline to the fire. Because after the fall clip went viral, Cardi didn't ignore it. She reposted it. But instead of addressing it seriously, she leaned all the way into absurdity. Alongside the video of her tumbling backward, she joked that the footage was clearly AI, and even asked for a community note. Now the internet had two things to argue about: the fall and the sarcasm. Within minutes, timelines were flooded. Memes exploded. Edits slowed the clip down frame by frame. Some fans joked the chair had federal funding. Others claimed the timing was too perfect. A few even speculated, half seriously, half not, that the entire thing felt staged. Rumors suggested it was performance art. Critics called it deflection. Supporters called it comedic genius. And the AI comment? That opened a whole new layer. In an era where deepfakes and manipulated clips spread fast, her joke hit differently. Was she mocking conspiracy culture? Was she poking fun at people who deny obvious reality? Or was she simply trolling the chaos she knew would follow? The beauty of it, depending on who you ask, is that Cardi never fully explains. She throws the match. Then watches the fire spread. And while the internet was busy debating chairs, agencies, and artificial intelligence, one thing became crystal clear. She had once again turned an embarrassing split second into a viral cultural moment. But here's what makes it even more interesting. This isn't new for her. Cardi B has been blending fame and politics for years. Long before this fall. Long before this DHS exchange. She's made it clear that she doesn't see herself as just an entertainer. Back in 2022, during her sit-down with David Letterman on Netflix's My Next Guest Needs No Introduction, she said something that stuck. She feels a responsibility to speak up. She admitted she doesn't always put political messages in her music, but she absolutely uses her platform hard. She even said she was vocal before the fame. Before the awards. Before the arenas. Because, in her words, people are always watching. And she's right. Over the years, she's interviewed politicians. Challenged policies. Talked about taxes, inflation, immigration. Sometimes praised leaders. Sometimes dragged them. She doesn't stick neatly to party lines, which makes her harder to box in, and harder to silence. That unpredictability is part of her identity now. So when she jokes, "That was the government," it doesn't land like random comedy. It lands like someone who has an ongoing, very public tension with authority. Someone who knows her words will trend. Some critics say she inserts herself into political drama for attention. Supporters argue she's using her influence exactly the way powerful celebrities should. Rumors suggest she thrives in that gray area, not fully activist, not fully apolitical, but undeniably loud. And maybe that's the real point. Cardi doesn't separate celebrity from commentary. She blends them. Which means when she falls off a chair, it's never just about the chair. It becomes part of a much bigger narrative. So what does it all mean? Was it just a slip? A clumsy fall in the middle of a high-energy performance? Maybe. But with Cardi B, nothing stays simple for long. That tumble, that off-the-cuff joke, the AI caption, it all became part of a larger story. A story about celebrity, politics, and how quickly one moment can ignite a national conversation. This wasn't just about a chair. It was about a rapper who refuses to stay quiet, who challenges authority, and who turns even mishaps into statements. Fans are still debating whether it was comedy, commentary, or calculated chaos. Critics are dissecting every frame. And social media? Well, it's still buzzing. In the end, Cardi B's fall shows something bigger: the power of presence, the unpredictability of fame, and the way 1 second, one joke can spark controversy, conversation, and viral frenzy all at once. Was it gravity? Timing? Or messaging disguised as humor? The truth is, only Cardi knows. And that uncertainty is exactly why we can't stop talking about it. What do you think, accident, or something more?